Está con nosotros y hay que agradecérselo. Peter Stano es el portavoz de Exteriores de la Unión Europea. Vamos a preguntarle en español, aunque nos va a contestar Peter Stano en inglés. Muy buenos días, Peter.
Hola, buenos días de Bruselas.
Darle en primer lugar las gracias por estar con nosotros esta mañana, sobre todo después del movimiento Trump que hemos visto. ¿Cómo debe reaccionar Europa? ¿Cuál es el papel que tiene que jugar Europa en un futuro próximo, en este entorno en el que se mira mucho alrededor de la fotografía de cómo va a cambiar el mundo? ¿Cómo lo ve?
Muchas gracias por la pregunta y sí, voy a responder en inglés para no destruir la hermosa lengua española y ofender a todos los hispanohablantes con mi español imperfecto. Well, the new situation in the world is of course a big challenge for the European Union because it will most likely happen, what we assume that might happen, that we will be left on our own as Europeans to do and to deal with things which are of our enormous interest. This is first of all Ukraine. So there is a lot of discussions right now in the European Union how to approach the world affairs with the new administration of Donald Trump, which is likely to be more unilateral or more isolationist if we are to believe the announcements and indications. But United States, regardless of the governments and regardless of the administrations on both sides of the Atlantic, we are the closest partners. We have so many links, traditionally, practically, economically, that it's not so easy to break them all. And we will always try, from the European side, to do as much as possible together with the United States, because we believe that we share the same interest. In this case, it's in our mutual interest not to have militarized, aggressive Russia. It's in our interest not to have assertive, militarized China or Iran, which are direct challenges for the United States. So we will try to explain to the new administration why is it important to stand up for the rules, stand up for the international law, and work together on crucial strategic issues regarding security and stability together with the Europeans.
En este escenario, Peter, ¿cómo debería o cómo deben ser los esfuerzos de Europa en un futuro para apoyar a Ucrania una vez que todo parece indicar que puede haber una caída del apoyo que venga desde Estados Unidos, siendo Europa la que está al lado de Ucrania, en el entorno del peligro que puede suponer un entorno de un Putin envalentonado en ese entorno?
The political position of the European Union still remains the same. We will support Ukraine for as long as needed and with as much as needed. This is the position of the EU agreed at the top political level. If the member states decide to change this policy, well, this is how the European Union works. But European Union will remain committed to the Ukraine for one simple reason. Ukraine is in our direct neighborhood. Ukraine is a candidate country of the European Union. And you might have heard already certain European leaders, including the outgoing High Representative Josep Borrell, who said that the answer to the new American administration and its actions should be more unity, Europe being more united and more determined to take its destiny in its own hands. And Ukraine is not something away. Ukraine is our destiny. Ukraine is a country that is negotiating its entry into the European Union. Ukraine is fighting for the European values and for survival. Should Ukraine fall, it would be a huge threat for the European Union as we know it nowadays. So this should be something for the European member states to consider if they will be discussing any kind of changes to our very clear and determined position as of now to support Ukraine for as long as needed with as much as they need.
En la parte económica, Peter, hay una preocupación importante del inversor y del ciudadano también europeo de que Europa se esté quedando rezagada, que se esté quedando a la cola de un movimiento, sobre todo de inteligencia artificial, en el que no nos estamos subiendo y que simplemente regulamos. Hay una sensación de que la burocracia nos está impidiendo ser competitivos y el ciudadano europeo está muy preocupado por eso. ¿Se puede recuperar el terreno? ¿Se pueden cambiar las estructuras sobre las que nos movemos en Europa para volver a ser competitivos?
Of course, absolutely, and this is something that is being discussed, and it was discussed most recently 1 week ago in Budapest by the European leaders during their informal meeting of the European Council. And we have the Draghi report. This is a report essentially about how we should change and improve and reform in order to catch up in order to be again at the forefront of the leadership in innovation, research, economy, investment, etc., etc. European Union is an economic might, is economic power. We are one of the top investors, one of the top trading partners, wherever you go in the world, one of the biggest providers of development assistance, humanitarian assistance. So we have all the potential. So of course, we need to adjust to the modern world. But this is an ambition the European Union has, the leaders of the member states have, and the only thing what we need is concrete action. But the action will be decided by the member states and determined by the level of their ambition. How much are they ready to invest or sacrifice in order to speed up the process of the necessary reforms? But the awareness is there. The EU is very much aware with our member states that we need to catch up, that we need to speed up all the reforms and modernization that we are doing. We are doing it with green transition. We are doing it with digitalization. But yes, some partners around the world are faster, are more advanced, and if we want to maintain our competitiveness, we need to speed up also our reforms, efforts, speed up the efforts, and increase the level of ambition and the courage to do the necessary steps when reforming the legislation or the economies.
Claro, solo por incidir un poco en esta última pregunta, y ya le dejo, Peter, pero ¿por qué somos tan lentos entonces? Tenemos una industria en Alemania en una situación complicadísima. Volkswagen no para de dar señales de alarma. Está haciendo lo mismo Mercedes, está haciendo lo mismo Stellantis en Francia, y sin embargo no le damos una respuesta al sector de automoción y tampoco le damos una respuesta rápida al plan Draghi. Usted lo ha nombrado, el plan Draghi, pero el plan Draghi, ¿dónde está? La sensación del ciudadano europeo es que está guardado en un cajón sin ponerse en marcha. ¿Por qué somos tan lentos y por qué no tomamos decisiones más rápidas? Porque usted dice, para no perder la competitividad. No, para recuperar lo que hemos perdido de competitividad.
First of all, let's not paint a very bleak picture. Not all things are bad. The European Union is still the economic powerhouse of the world. We are one of the most advanced economies and most advanced economic and financial powers in the world. But let's not forget one thing. This is the beauty and maybe also a shortfall of the European Union. We are 27. So whatever we do as the European Union, we need to decide at the level of 27 member states. The advantage of China is that they can decide centrally and order and impose and plan the economy and direct the economy. We don't do it in Europe because we are democracy. We are a market economy. So you cannot plan centrally and you cannot order things. We have a legislative processes at the national level, at the European level, and the decision making at the European level takes time because we are 27 and have very often different interests, different national interests or focuses on different parts of the economy or of the industry. So in order to find the necessary consensus that works for all, we need a little bit more time. So yes, you can say we are like a big cruise ship that takes time to change direction, but when we do it forcefully and steadily, and we always catch up, and we are a project in evolution. And the evolution of this project is determined, again, by the courage and ambition and the speed with which the member states approach the things. Of course, it's easier for a national state like China, which is directed autocratically, centrally, or Russia. And it's also easier for United States that are also one economy, one national economy, but it's more complicated for us. But in our case, it's also more thorough and more sustainable. So maybe people have the feeling that things take time, but once they start rolling, they bring concrete benefits over a longer period of time and are sustainable. So this is as I said, the beauty and also the deficit or the weak side of EU being the composition of 27 member states.
Peter Stano, que es el portavoz de Exteriores de la Unión Europea, le agradezco encarecidamente que haya estado esta mañana con nosotros y que haya contestado a todas las preguntas. Muchísimas gracias, Peter. Buen día y buen negocio ahí en Bruselas.
Muchas gracias, buen día, hasta muy pronto.
Muchas gracias.